Hello, good afternoon, guys. So, today I am going to be doing a tutorial on how I achieve this beautiful blonde wig. I'm going to make it as detailed and beginner friendly as possible. So, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like and comment, and let's jump into it.
Wait a minute.
So first off, this is a shopping list of all the things that you're going to need for this. You can pause the video right here and write a little list down so that way you can have everything you need. This hair is from Beauty Forever. I'm going to link all of the links down below so that you guys can know where I got it. It is Malaysian curly hair. I got 4 20-inch bundles and a 4x4 20-inch closure. So all of it is the same length, and as you can see, it is Malaysian. This is what the closure looks like. It's a regular closure. It has, lace in front of it. You know how it works with closures and everything. You're gonna need bleach, obviously. You're gonna need a whole tub of bleach. And I use 30 developer because 40 developer is way too much for curly hair. You want the curls to still be intact when you're done bleaching. So moving on to dyeing the hair, you want to make sure that you're mixing your bleach with a little bit of your developer. You don't want your developer too thick, but you don't also want it too runny. So you have to kind of look at a good half point. I used a whole tub of bleach for this hair, and I always start from the bottom. The reason why I like to start from the bottom is because the bottom can be lighter than the top and it will give you a nice ombre effect. And also, I always feel like the top always takes longer to process. So you want to really use a little brush. You can get this brush or spatula in the beauty supply store. And what you want to do is lay it down in a well-ventilated area. Obviously, I was in my studio and it's actually not very ventilated, but I had to record this for you guys so you could see. So I applied the bleach. You're going to really apply it in any way. Just make sure all the hairs are covered and you get the back. So you see how I turned it over? Make sure you get the back. So I also left the color on for about 30 minutes. I didn't want to leave it on for too long because you don't want the hair to be fried. So after you're done putting the bleach in, just put it in a plastic bag and wait 30 minutes, set a timer, and your hair will definitely turn depending on what type of hair you have. So now going on to making the wig. I haven't actually put up a making wig video in a while, but this wig cap was way too big. So I actually had to sew across of it and make sure that it was tight. First things first with the closure is you have to line it up with the wig cap. This is pretty simple to do, as you can see here, and I put the hair up so that it's easy for me to sew. I'm not really sure how to explain sewing, but you just put the needle in and bring it back out as you're seeing here. What I like to do is I start from the top of the closure and I work it in. I am not a master wig maker. I just started making wigs last year, but I've learned a lot from just making them, and I really hope that you guys can learn this too. If you have any questions about wig making or about the color, please let me know in the description down below. I'm trying to make this as detailed as possible. So now I'm going to just sew the whole closure around. So you want to start from the front and work your way to the back. And then on the other side, work from the front and then work your way to the back until you're done with the whole closure. This hair actually took the color very well. It was very shiny. It didn't shed very much, and I really love that about it. I had no problems with this hair. And trust me, I've had problematic hair, so it's not like I'm just saying this, but I really love the hair texture. I like the quality of the hair. It's actually really good hair. I've worked with this company before, so I know that I'm always going to get good hair from them. So when you're starting off with the wefts, I usually like to double them. So they usually come either single or double. I like to double it in the back to give the back a fuller appearance. I'm not really sure if this is the correct way to do it, but this is very beginner friendly. So this is for if you really just want to make a wig and you don't know how to do it. So you're just going to sew the track on. It's pretty simple. I learned this in literally one video I watched. You just sew the track on, make sure the track is well sewed on. You can see the pattern in which I'm sewing it on. So I sew it onto the nape of the wig cap, and you just continue sewing until you get to the top of the hair. I usually like to put on a show. This is 90210. This is the second time I'm watching this whole show, but I like to put on a show because just watching something will give you a lot of just help, and like it will make you take your mind off the fact that you're sewing for so long, because you at least get invested in the show and just be sewing, and next thing you know, you're done with the wig. So I usually like to do that. So that's what keeps me from getting burnt out from wig making. If you just wig make, then honestly, you get tired. And I always make my wigs in the evening because I just feel like it's very calming just sewing and just watching a movie or something like that. Especially if you're somebody who doesn't have patience, it's actually really good to just watch something while you're doing this. So I'm just sewing in any manner. Honestly, I'm not even trying to like make it cute or anything. I just want a wig. So during winter, I like to wear wigs. If you guys don't know, I have natural hair, and this is just the way I protect my hair, so I don't always have my hand in my hair. So I just like braid my hair down and I wear wigs. I usually get my hair braided professionally, but of course, you can always just braid your hair in any type of way as long as the wig will fit on it. So all you're going to do is just keep sewing until you get to the closure part. Now, the way I put this wig, I know it looks weird, but it's because the wig cap was pretty large. So I actually had to stretch it a little bit. But usually you just put the wig cap on and sew it all across. I hope I'm making sense because I really did this tutorial as detailed as I possibly could so that if you're a beginner and you've never made a wig, you'll be able to understand how to make the wig. And I'm also knotting the thread. So as I'm sewing it, I'm also knotting it at the same time. After I'm done with the wig, you will see that there is a black part of that where the closure is. You want to cut it, but you want to make sure you don't cut it too close to the thread, because if you cut it too close to the thread, what is going to happen is your closure is going to slip off. So this is what it looks like without any plucking or anything. I like to try and see if I can get the part. So I put it on my head and you can see it just looks straight. So we need to pluck the part and we also need to pluck the wig. Plucking makes it more natural. Do not pluck too much. To pluck, you literally just use the tweezers like you would be using it for your eyebrows. And it's better to have a very tiny part than to have too wide of a part. So you want to make sure that when you're plucking your wig, you don't pluck too much. Honestly, you could pluck a lot out of the hairline. That's fine because it's a middle part in my cover. But your part, you don't need it to be that big. So you can already see the difference between the part I plucked and the other part. You can see the other part looks very straight. With curly hair, you have to remember to take out the hairs that you're plucking. So all I'm doing is just using a tweezer and just taking out the hairs. You have to be very careful because you also don't want to rip the lace. So you can see I'm holding the lace while I'm pulling the hairs out of the wig because you need this to make more of a natural hairline. I didn't tweeze it too much, but I tweezed it enough. Then as an extra step, even though I bleached my knots, I like to use my dark deepest mineralized skin finish on top of the lace so that it shows through as my skin color and it doesn't show through as white because this lace is white. You can never bleach lace. You can only bleach the knots. And then I go back and I tweeze a little bit more just to make sure it looks natural onto my head, as you can see here. Then I add a little bit of concealer. Concealer will make it look like my scalp. And this is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn. And I just basically put it into the part. So this is very important because this is how I got the part to look very natural. I noticed that a lot of times with these blonde brown hair, it's very hard for you to see the part, especially if you're my skin tone. So I like to put a little bit of eyeshadow, a brown eyeshadow, so that way you can kind of see the part a little more visibly. Then after that, I cut the lace. You can cut the lace in any fashion, but just make sure you cut it straight and you don't go too in. Now to lay the wig, I use my Got to Be Glued. I put the Got to Be Glued on the front of the hair. I make sure that it's on the front where the braids are not so that it doesn't pull off my edges. I put the wig on and I just press it down. Now, if you want to get a better hold with this, make sure you scarf it down for a couple of minutes so that your closure will lay very flat. Scarfing it down will make it look like this and it will look more natural. Of course, you get better as you make wigs, but if you guys have any other questions, as I said before, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned how to get this hair color as well as make the wig, and I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye!